real-time strategy isn't over yet. This is not, it's not over. Hey everybody, how are you guys doing out there in FAF land? I'm Chris Taylor. I'm the original, I'm the designer of Total Annihilation, Supreme Commander. If you have any questions you'd like to ask, fire away. Let's hear it. I'll do my best to answer them, and I'll be looking forward to seeing what you can come up with. I'll be interested to see what I come up with. But the FAF thing, man, is pretty damn impressive, and it's pretty damn important. It's a truly amazing, and it really I'm humbled, really is the way to put it. I'm humbled by it. I'm honored, and you know, it's never you can never remind people enough times how many people worked on these projects. You know, it breaks my heart that I don't have the source code. It's like a thing, eh? Somebody gets on a chat with me and they're chatting with me and they're like, and by the way, what about the source code? I feel like I'm in some sort of a future sci-fi movie. It's like, you didn't want to just talk to me. You wanted my source code? Square Enix owns it. I never made a copy and brought it home and stuck it on a zip drive under my bed. And I never did it with TA either. Yeah, well, hey, here's the thing about me. I'm just a regular guy that has been making video games since he was 14. And like, you know, there's no magic to, I just worked 12 to 14 hours a day. On Total Annihilation, I worked almost every single day of the week. I took a week off at Christmas. The competitors in your same space can do the same work in 1 year that will take you 3 years. You'll have to have ideas that are crazy clever.
Do you call it Soupcom or Subcom?
Well, I call it Soupcom, but I'd probably slip up and call it Subcom, but mostly it's Soupcom. The name, I was thinking about the fact that you're always playing in a theater of war. You know, in World War II especially, where it was really clear, we had Eisenhower overlooking the European theater, and he was the supreme commander of the Allied forces. And then in the Pacific, it was MacArthur. Hitler was the supreme commander of the Nazis. Eisenhower is sitting back in, you know, London, probably somewhere in a bunker, and they're in a room, right? And they've got croup sticks and they're moving stuff. He's not moving anything, but he's got people that are moving around things, and he's in planning sessions. He is basically playing World War II, the game. So I was like, why in the hell wouldn't you call your real-time strategy game that plays on a giant map over an entire theater of war? Why wouldn't you call it Supreme Commander? One of the guys on my team, he leaned into my office and he said, "Hey, I heard the name Supreme Commander." I go, "Yeah, like that is the worst name I've ever heard." I was like, ah! And you go, "Oh man, am I crazy? Am I drinking my own Kool-Aid?" This is the shit that happens. And then you go www.supremecommander.com and it's taken. I don't know whether we spent $2,000 or $5,000 or $10,000, but we bought the URL. I love telling those old stories. Those early days of just trying to build a franchise from nothing. Like nothing exists. It's blank sheet of paper and you got to build it all. You go, they're not going to be a commander. What are they going to be? What do you think of Armored Command Unit? You say, yes, it's an Armored Command Unit. Yes, it's so obvious now that it's been said out loud. But that was a decision that had to be made, right? Because this is a pillar, you know, the whole game experience. I did not directly engineer. Just to make it clear, I was not an engineer on the project. I was running the company. I had other projects in development, and I was the lead designer. And I did the design on Supreme Commander 2, which I know was a very divisive game. We had to kind of make a game that worked on an Xbox, and that was hard. That's a whole story. That's a story for another day where we have a couple of drinks first.
The other thing is, if you had any questions to the community, we could ask them.
I'm actually kind of curious why the community did not move on to other games that were more modern games.
I guess the obvious one is Planetary Annihilation. You think lots of people would have gone over to that. But we can ask, why didn't people move along?
It's like, you know, do I look fat in this? It's kind of one of those.
No, I
don't
think it's
talk
a
about it.
totally legit question as a game designer, because those other games are major productions. So why don't we play them?
It's a curiosity to me. But it would be really interesting and to hear the sorts of things that they missed, because let's face it, real-time strategy isn't over yet. This is not, it's not over. I have a new initiative that I'm working on that you probably know about. It's called Kanugi. But I could put like another page and I could have links to all of the FAF stuff. It's an indie project. I just actually posted a new update on it. You zoom out to the whole universe because you see multiple galaxies. There's only 3 right now, but you see 3 galaxies. So technically it's a universal view, right?
Right.
By definition. Yeah, I took strategic zoom to the limit. Well, pretty far. I mean, I could go further. You could have multiple
Yeah,
universes.
yeah. You only have one universe. So when are we
Yeah,
going to see some like gameplay video or screenshots?
that's a good question. I'm doing a little bit of that thing you hear about where people never release because they're never ready for it to be in the public. So it could be this year. Well, you're welcome to let folks know that they can sign up for the beta. And then at some point in the future, I'm going to start running these tests. And so that's my project. It's like a labor of love now. It's definitely indie. It's not my full-time job. It's not being funded by anyone other than me. And I'm the one who does all the code on it. So it's really a labor of love project. It's just great to be able to build something without having sort of a business imperative driving it. It's basically runs in the Google Cloud and it runs in a browser, any browser. I'm going to do it with progressive loading so that imagine, if you will, a spaceship is like wireframe. And then as time goes on, it fills in and then it gets to a fully realized 3D model. So you can load into the game instantly and then you can begin playing. And as you're playing it, things fill in. You don't want to be doing a big loading bar. So you can be right back into the action in 3 seconds. That's the idea from any device.
Does the simulation run on the server?
Yeah, it all runs in something called a game server instance up inside a VM. So the way the system works is it comes up from your browser, it uses WebSocket Secure, it goes over an HTTPS connection, and then it goes into what's a load balancer on the Google Cloud. Load balancer pushes it into a proxy server that figures out which game you belong to, and it routes your traffic into a GSI that's sitting on a VM. And if that GSI goes down, the system knows it, spawns a new one, downloads the saved game data, which is dynamically being saved on the back end, rehydrates a new VM, and puts you back into the game like 10 seconds later.
Thanks, Keats, for making the time.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk to you soon when we're ready to do the next thing.
All right.
Awesome.
See ya.
Sounds good. Take care.